Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Check. Check. Testing. Hello again, everybody. I'm Larry Hamilton. Welcome to my YouTube painting channel. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to do a watercolor painting, and it may be a kind of a long painting in terms of what we've done before, but hopefully you'll like it. It's a street scene in the southern coast of Italy, a town called Positano. It's in the Amalfi Coast area, it's called, and it's a very beautiful area. And so I picked up a photo from a photographer named Cheryl Nelson, I believe you pronounce it, and I got it from a website on pmp-art.com. PMP stands for Paint My Photo. So there's a lot of photos out there. If you're looking for photos to paint, you can go out to pmp-art.com, and you'll find a lot of work out there that you can use for your own use, and there's no royalties or anything like that. So anyway, let me go over to my computer. I want to take you through a few of the photos. You see one up here. I've got some nice photos to work from in this particular case, but it's also very detailed. It's a street scene, and there's a lot of windows and doors and flowers and all kinds of things in this. So it's going to take a while. I plan to take a break maybe at 2 o'clock Eastern time for maybe 10 minutes, just for my own health and safety. And so let me go over to the palette now, and I'll be right back. I'm going to the my computer. Sorry. Close my door. There. Okay, I'm over here at my computer now, and I want to show you one interesting thing that Cheryl did. Was she took 2 photos of this scene. One is the landscaped version. This is the horizontal version of it. So it shows a car and a little motorcycle and a plant here in the foreground, and it shows the some work over here on the right side. And it's a nice landscape view, but it ignores the height of it. So what she did was she took another one in portrait mode. So it shows the altitude, the height of the building here on the right side, cuts out a little bit of the image on the left side. And so when she sketched it, she did a watercolor of it in line and wash. She actually did this sketch. So out on pmp-art.com, you have all 3 of these photos out there. And so this is the one I used. I actually put it through my grid program. Actually, I put it through a different grid program. I've been using griddrawingtool.com for many years. I have a lot of links out on my website for that and for on these videos. And I just found out this last couple weeks that the griddrawingtool.com works no more. It was supported by a website called arttutor.com in the UK. And I also just found out 2 days ago that arttutor.com is going out of business, so they've stopped supporting the grid tool. So you just have to search for grid tools for photos, and there's a number of them out there. I saw one. I don't think any of them are as good as the one that I got from arttutor.com. I've communicated with them. I'd like to try to get a hold of that, the code for that, and put it on my website, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. But anyway, this is the grid that I put over it, and so this was the basis for my sketch. And this is my sketch, and I realize you can't probably see it very well. It's pretty light. I wanted to keep it fairly light so that I didn't have a lot of graphite on my paper when I started painting. So anyway, that's the photos that we're going to work from, and I'll go back down. We'll go through the paints and brushes and get started on this. Hang on. Okay, I'm back here at my easel now, and this is the setup I have. This is my Sterling Edwards painting palette, big brush painting palette they call it. I got some bristle brushes that I use for blending and putting on water with. I have a couple of flats. I have a 1-inch flat and a 1/2-inch flat, and I have 4 rounds here. I have a 12, number 12, number 8, number 4, and I have a script liner with the long bristles. I don't know how many of those brushes I'll use. I'm going to use some of them, but I don't know how many. So let me go around the paints and tell you what they are again. These are Holbein transparent watercolors. A Japanese watercolor company makes these very beautiful transparent colors. So here we have in the palette, going dark to light, cool to warm. This is Payne's Gray, Cobalt Blue, Ultramarine Deep Blue, Prussian Blue, Permanent Violet, Hooker's Green, Umber, Burnt Sienna, Quinacridone Scarlet, Bright Rose, Brilliant Orange, Quinacridone Gold, Permanent Yellow Deep, and Cad Lemon Yellow. So that's the colors we have to work with, and I'm going to get my palette now situated and get my camera zoomed in so you can mostly see this painting. I don't want you to see me, but I'm going to try to get it, since it's portrait, it's going to be just a little bit, I have to keep it a little wider than I would typically like to, but I'll try to get myself out of the picture as much as possible. I do have a couple other cameras. I also have a little chat window here that you can use if you want to talk to me online. I have a computer up here by my elbow, and I will be looking at it periodically to see if anybody's chatting. And if you have a question, just shout it out and I'll see if I can answer it. Okay, we're going to start with, I didn't show you, I should have, well, I showed the picture. This is the one here on the right side up here, which is the portrait version of it. And over here on my left side, I've got didn't show you that, but I've got my the sketch here on the left. This is Cheryl Nielsen's sketch, and the wide version, the landscape version of the photograph. So I've got those two to work from, so that when I'm painting down here around the car and some of these areas that are missed in the portrait sketch painting photo, sorry, that I can get those. And then when I want to paint the tops, I'll be looking at this photo over here on the right. She combined them very nicely in this sketch, and she did a good job of it, even though she had two photos that were not exactly meant to be put together. So anyway, that's what we got to work from, and like I say, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm going to start my timer here so I can keep track of the clock. All right, we're going. All right, so in about an hour or so, I'm going to try to take a break just to relax my voice and hopefully get some water and that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a little bit of water on top of this thing in some spots. I'm not going to wet the whole thing down, but I am going to put a little bit of water up here where the sky is going to go. The sky, if you ever look up Amalfi Coast on Google search, you'll find that it has a lot of beautiful buildings, street scenes. Positano, this little town this was painted from, a street scene this was painted from, is about 75 miles south of Naples in Italy. So it's a nice area. There's a lot of beautiful streets like this that are really nice to walk down. I have a lot of shops and places along the Amalfi Coast. They have a lot of beaches and cliffs and all kind of things that are very nice to visit and enjoy. So I'm just wetting now the side of the building here on the right side and my sky. And with that done, I'm going to come back now and get some of this, my cobalt blue, I think, for the sky. It's a pretty potent blue color, but when I put it on my paper that's wet already, I will thin it down quite a bit. I hope you're able to hear the audio here. I had some problems getting my broadcast system working here today for some reason. One computer that I've been using for quite a while to do the broadcasting with decided it didn't like my streaming input for whatever reason. So last night I was hurriedly trying to figure out a way to make make this thing work, and I had to use another computer. I had to switch all my images over, and it was a little panic city last night trying to get this going. Okay, so that's enough of that, and I'll just leave it at that. There's a little bit too much blue in there. I'll take maybe a little bit of that out with my dryer brush, put a couple of clouds or something up in there, and just lighten it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be really bright. It's going to lighten up quite a bit anyway, so I'll leave it at that. I'm going to put a sort of a I don't know, a grayish color here, very, very light gray on this area over here that's wet. I just want to put some tone over there. It's not a big area, or it is a big area, but I don't want to have a lot of stuff for you to look at over here. I'm just going to kind of put just a little bit of excuse me, a little bit of brown in it. Indicate some of the other colors that are in this building, this architecture. Right here, like this, and bring it on down. Don't want to confuse it with the sky. It's not the sky. It's really a building, and so I'm going to put just a few of these colors in to tone it down a little bit so that it's not not so obvious. I don't want you to spend a lot of time looking over here, so I'm going to keep it light, and I'm going to come back and put some bushes and things over this. I think I can go all the way down here. I'm probably going to go all the way down. The same building goes all the way down to this little looks like a fence in the photograph, in the sketch, but it's not. It's really just a it's a wrought iron type of thing here that's got some curvature on top. I'll try to leave a few of those marks in there. That's good enough. If that lightens up too much, I might touch it again. I don't know. I'm going to come back now and put some the background foliage in here. This will be done pretty much wet on dry. Using my Hooker's green, using my permanent violet and some blue, and just getting a darker color that's going to go back here, make this top of this mountain range back here that's kind of blends with the sky a little bit. So let's see if we can get a little change of color in there, change the tone. Like that. Maybe put a few other colors in there, pick up a few browns maybe. And just bring it down here and make it look like a lot of, it's really green foliage, I guess, and some trees, and there's even some houses maybe back here and some other structures, but I'm not going to paint any of that in. That's be too distracting. I want to keep it try to keep the focus down here in the more in the center of interest, and not have to I just want to paint around these things that are back here. Part of this is going to remain sort of light. Okay, like that. And as we come forward, I'm going to make this next little layer a little bit darker. Pick up some of the same greens, some of the same blues, but I'm going to make it just a little darker. If I can, and change the color a little bit. Get a little more blue. It's not darker though. See if I can get it a little darker here. There's some dark. Might leave a few little blank areas back there that look like there's maybe some white structures or something back there. Okay. Okay, let's come back and put a little bit of pick up another color here, get some different colors in this next layer down here, if I can. Goes like this, just sort of outlining the perimeter of this area, and something like that. And we'll just use a little bit of the blending brush here to blend in this area. They actually have I believe they have a tree growing up here on the top of this building, so I'm going to put that in. So I want the paint to be lighter beneath it, and so that I can make it show up. Okay, so that's good enough, I think. Maybe I'll put a little bit of this darker color up in here somewhere, just to give a little more texture to that background. It looks kind of bland, but I don't want it to again be so interesting that you spend a lot of time looking at it back there. Try to control the eye. Control the eye. Okay. Good enough. Good enough. All right. What's next? This building, I just realized there is some blue sky up there behind this building at the very top up here. Not much. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit and just add a very light wash back in here. I think it's probably somewhere follows this. Okay. Something like that. We'll leave it like that. Put some of those other structures in there. All right. It's good enough. All right, now let's see. So this building here is all pretty much white, off-white. It's got some brick and stuff in here that looks like it's crumbling paint, but there's a fence. There's a fence that goes. We got this fence, and then there's another fence up here that goes up this way, and then there's like a trellis or something over this little top. So let's just kind of work our way down. I don't know if there's anything else I can put some color on while I've got these colors in my palette here. No, I'm not gonna put any of that color in yet. I'm gonna just leave that go for now, and we'll just start working our way down this this big building. So we'll go from back to front, top to bottom. That's the way I usually like to paint, and because this is so complicated, I'm going to be probably using some smaller brushes in some areas, and pick up my 1/2 inch flat right now, and see if I can get some color on. Where is this? Okay, this is this here. This is so detailed. That's why I have to really kind of pay attention to what I'm doing. A lot closer than I would otherwise, maybe. Got a little, some sort of a structure here, a piece of wood of some kind. Right there, comes down to there, and we've got think I've got some more of this color I had over here, down here on this. It's down here. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. Make it just a little bit lighter. Okay, now this side out here is really white, off-white, so it's going to be almost no color on it right in here. Got my fence up there. This is going to be just part of the building with going to paint it down because anything I put over it's going to be darker. Yeah, like this. Down to there. Over to here. There's a window. There's a structure there. I'm going to do the same thing here, although I'm going to make that just a little bit darker because it's on the same side, away from the sun slightly. Okay. This in here is a bit of a roof type structure. It comes down here like this. There's another beam of some sort that goes across here. Let's see if I can make that work. Here like this. There's a beam. It's like a little trellis of some kind or something up there. They put okay. Bit of that. Up here they've actually got another little fence up here that I tap in with my brush. This actually comes out further. Alright, we'll bring it down here. That. All right. Angle's probably off a little bit, but it's all right. This part of the building over here is also off-white. I'm going to give it a little bit of a tone over here. A grayish color. A little bit of warm in it in some spots. All of this is going to be that light here. I gotta paint around. Just light stuff here, really keep it light. Down here's to this is all darker stuff here, so I'm going to go ahead and paint over it and let it okay, just a real light brushing. This thing over here is going to be something similar to this color. I'm going to try to keep these colors somewhat consistent by showing you the make him just a little darker because it is a little bit out of the light. Okay, then we got shadows. We got this little darker shadow over this particular. Well, I don't know why it has to be that dark. It is darker. And looking at the photograph, good thing the looking from the black and white sketch, it's hard to tell where she put some shading, but you don't know how dark it or what color it really is. So these are the good photos here. Show what's going on down here. A bit darker maybe than that even. A little umber in there maybe. Let's see. Darken it down, just that's a little too much. Okay, down here I'm going to put this a little arch there. All this stuff is facing the other way, so it has a definite lighter color, lighter than that, or pink maybe. Yeah. There's some sort of a more yellowish structure back here. There's a lot of stuff in this photograph that you have to like just take out. You can't just put it in. You have to be very selective. Has to have more orange in it. We've even got some orange in some of this. Where is it? Up here underneath. Take those, add a little darkness to it, and pull it down just a little. A shadow here, shadow over here. I don't know what that's supposed to be above that. I'm going to see if I can make it darker here. A bit of scuff it up a little bit. Make it look like there's some texture, some stuff on here that's maybe some bricks been painted over. I don't know. We're doing this, okay. Not sure what we see through that fencing. We see more of this building through this fencing up here. See if I can put a little bit more of that behind it. And let's put a little bit of a orange. I don't see that necessarily in the photograph, but I think it adds that color up there. Down here, what did I leave that open for? That's for I stopped painting in certain areas and I have to go back and try to remember, why did I paint that? There's a awning or something over there. I want to show. All right, this is okay. Put a little more darker in there just to let it look dirty. All right, we're done. And I'm letting this dry, so I'm getting a nice covering there that I can come back and paint more blue up here. I think I need. Yeah. All right. What's behind this thing? I guess this is going to be over here. It's got a dark roof on it, doesn't it? Over here. I'm going to put just a little bit more of this gray color back in behind this guy here, and let's put a little glaze of this on here. Okay, cover that up. Bit of dark down here. Like that. Put in some rough texture if I can get it. Just putting a few more makes it look like rough plaster or something on this building here. Dry brush, very dry brush. So yeah, something like that's pretty good. Over here I want something similar with this front now that it's drier. Using this 300-pound cold press paper, I get that texture and I can make that look kind of bumpy, which is what I want to do. Okay, so here we got laundry hanging on the line. We got some background. Over here I got another front to this building, which looks to be even more pinkish than the ones I've already got on there. This one here. See, there's a little roof hanging over in the shadow. So let's maybe make him a little more orangish, I don't know. It got gray on me, didn't it? All these windows are going to be darkened in. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. This is a big green door down here, which I can actually paint right over because I'm going to put the green over it. The front is white underneath there, so okay. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat window and I'll see if I can answer them. I'll let that dry out a little bit. Now these other ones over here are starting to get a little bit more, what color is that? I don't know. It's a yucky yellow. Maybe it's a little bit of my, mix these two colors together and see if I can get a color that looks something like it should belong over here. Probably needs to be lighter than that. Coming down to the roof of this car. Something like that. So far I've done a lot of this painting with this 1/2-inch flat brush. Another set of trees. This right here is a little wall that comes down. Turn this back to something a little more gray, maybe a little more off-white. Nope, off-white. Add just a little of my Payne's Gray to sort of gray it down a little bit, get a change of tone in there. Yeah, grab that while it's wet and just pull it down. Let's see, maybe I'll just connect this. And as this comes forward, it's got a little more tone in it. It's a little more in the shadow, I think. Sun's probably hitting over here, and this is going to be a little more in shadow, so I'm going to darken it down. And we'll just put not very dark. How do we dark it? We add complements, or we add a little bit of Payne's Gray. Just like that. Got some cement color or something here that kind of comes down. A little bit of a little bluish color in there, maybe a little bit of violet. Where's my violet? There's my violet. Okay, there's going to be a flower over that. Okay, let's see. This is white over here. Has a dark shadow above it. It's got where'd I go? Over here. Darker, darker, darker. And this is going to be all white. Pretty much all white. Almost no tone in it at all. These areas up here, these roof areas, are going to have to be add a little bit of tone to them to darken them down a little bit. Make sure we know this is a roof. Usually these roofs have some sort of a color like tile, sort of a tile type look to them. And there's usually some stuff that runs down and runs up. This, maybe pull a little more of this down here. Might be a little too dark, but that's all right. We'll fix it. Still using the flat side of this brush to just put in some texture in these buildings. This is supposed to be all white there. Over here I might add a little more texture in some of this. And over here, all right, got a lot of interesting shapes there. I've got some areas I can go back and put more texture in, and then put all this little detail that covers all of this. The windows and the doors and all that sort of stuff is going to go in here. It's sort of a roof type structure that sticks out here. That comes down here. All right, I think that's going to be enough. A few things up. All right, so I'll let that dry off a little bit now. I think I got a white spot over here. It's got too much light in it. Just want to tone that down a little bit. Maybe you can tone that down. All right, we're getting On the background color here, over here we've got some more just off-white, got a little bit of pinkish color in it of sorts. We do have a lot of white laundry here that I want to try to preserve some of that, but below it we've got building for background. And we've got flowers for the foreground. Just put that in here, throw it in there like that. This door is really back. It's actually going back this way. That. Put a few just very light tone there. Okay, I don't know if you start to see the change. This needs to be probably closer to that value. Need to darken it down just a little if I can. Find the color to do it with. Just another coat will probably do it. Got this fence back there. Put that in. These are clothes hanging on a line and some there's a big bush or something, item that's growing there. Over here this is more white, bluish white back in here. Doesn't have much blue in it. A little more blue. And as it goes down, it just turns more white. So I'm just going to take this brush, clear water, and pull it down and put a glaze there. Darken the top just a little more. Up here, let's see, this is closed. We've got more of this same white building here. Up here, like this. Going back into these. All right. So these are clothes hanging on a line. I got some bushes in there. A little bit of this tone behind that there. A little bit. Bring it down here. All right. I'm talking to myself. I hope I'm not driving you crazy. Hello, Jorge. Is that how you pronounce your name? Chacon. Welcome from Mexico. All right, let's see. Now this area here is more flat. It's a sort of a sidewalk type of thing here that needs to have some brush strokes to tell you what's going on there. Otherwise, you're going to think it's part of the building, and it's not. So let's just put a little bit of that in here like this. And if I make these brush strokes horizontal, you will understand this is some sort of a walkway that's maybe not part of the road, maybe, but those brush strokes will tell you this could be part of the road, it could be a part of a walk, but this will start laying the groundwork for that. Okay. All right, so it looks like I got a plane going here, I got things going up here, I got them coming this way. This probably needs to be darker here. You remember my talk about the change plane accent? If this is, I take that back. Yeah, okay. This is supposedly facing the sun more than this, so this all should be darker. So I want to do something about that while I've got some of my colors in here that I can darken it down with. My blues and my oranges and all of that. So let's see what I can do here. It needs to be a little darker than that probably. Put some blue. If I hook my blue and my probably too dark, but it's going to lighten up. So put in some colors, change the color, add some tones, add some colors, oranges and reds and that sort of stuff. We'll just do that, and Then I'll come in with my bristle brush with some water in it, damp, and we're just going to blend all this stuff together. While it's wet, I can just do this and it'll all run together. By just having a bit of water in my brush, picks up those colors, and now it's made it almost the same value as this. So I'm probably going to want to come back in there a little bit later and hit it again, maybe make it even darker. I don't know, but right now I'm going to let that dry, see what it turns out to be. Keep these colors in my palette because I'm going to need these reds and oranges and stuff anyway. But it's now this fencing here it's interesting. She made it kind of white in her sketch, but on the actual photo it's a light green. It's this fencing. All this is fencing in here, and it has the color of this wall behind it. So I'm going to probably pull this down now that I've got my brush going here. Pull it down. I'll make those darker. Cover a lot of territory with these bristle brushes. Yeah, okay. All right. Leave that alone. Just mix some colors in there. Try to keep from getting mud. That's the idea. All right, I'm probably going to have to darken it down again, but I will wait for a little bit, let that dry off to see how it's going to look. This up here is nice and dry. I'm going to get my small brush. How we doing? We've been going 40 minutes, so I'm going to keep going here for another 20, and then we'll take a short break and let me rest my voice and get a drink of water, and you can get a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatever it is for you this time of day. Up here, pretty window. Like that. Something there. We've got a little bit of a shadow there. Too much. There. Here we get the top. These. Something like this. I actually have a tree growing out of here, sitting up here. Put me a little tree right up here. Getting a little detailed now, probably more detail than I need, but I'll show this little interesting. Maybe some purple. I'm going to just put a few. Something like that. Little tree growing up there. Okay, what else we got to do here? I'm going to put in a few more marks. Like that. Coming down here, we've got another underhang for the roof that's dark, and it sort of comes down a little bit, and these are all shadows, and there's actually a roofing mechanism that sticks out here. Something like that. All right, down here, what do we got? We got not much of anything till we get right in here. And then we've got some, let's see, what is it? I have to look on the sketch to figure out what went in here. So it's this area right here. Not sure what it is. It might be a little bit of an arch type thing. And just some shadows and stuff from this arch or whatever it is it's holding this side of the building there. All right. And we got another fence coming out here. And we got a few structural items holding up this thing back here, like that. So I'm on a number 4 brush now, so this is a pretty detailed brush. This thing is going to go like this. To this corner, we have a corner post there. And this is another one of these open fence type things that's got this it's kind of a bottom on it that sticks out and causes some of the shadow. And then over here we got the same kind of thing. It's just these little curly cues that like that. There's a bottom on it. All right, and we got this little roofing thing back here that defines something back here. Don't know what it is, don't really care. We'll make sure I've got this fence well defined back there. Okay, so much for that little piece. You see how many objects are in this? This is what's really time consuming and makes it harder to paint and longer to paint. Got a couple of little arches here. Like that. A couple of, these are like that. And we're going to have a little bit of a shadow in those things because the sun is coming in here, so I want to put just a little bit of a shadow like that in each of these. All right, they look a little more three-dimensional. Similar thing over here. We got a couple of things coming down that are like this. Like that. Oh, a roof. Another roof, bottom of this roof. So I'm just kind of drawing in all the architecture over here that I see. I'll make it a little bit interesting if I can. Take out some of these blobs of white. Anything on this? So we have another little fence back here. It goes from here. Goes from here like this to here, and it goes back like that. And these are all the same kind of little like that, a little bottom on it. Something like that with a darker corner here. There. All right. I think it looks like it goes back maybe. Make it taper a little more and it will look like that. Okay. So we're getting there. We're getting there. More dark over here. Just these buildings are all moldy and dusty and dirty and have collected a lot of dirt over the years. So, okay, how are we doing? 55. Well, I've got just about an hour in this thing, and we're at least halfway done. At least I think so. Let's see, let's maybe work on this for 5 minutes and see if we can get some of these big, these are gray as well with a little bit of blue in them. And this thing that holds this light up out here. There's a lantern or lamp, and something like that. Got a shadow under it like this. Down to here. Okay, there's one arch. We got another one that joins this light right here and comes around the same way, only it goes all the way down here. It's this, and then it has a shadow under it like this. How far down does he go? He goes down pretty far. All right. So this one would actually come down below this lamp. Something like this. And below the lamp we start running into things that hold this brace, this rod up. That's what holds this lamp up. The lamp has, let me get a few more good colors in here. We'll put a few like this, like that. Alright, something like that. Another little brace here like that. There's a light, something that goes in. And this is all stuff that can be in shadow because it's holding this light up. Okay, now this other arch does come down on the other side of this lamp, like right about in here, until it hits somewhere. There's a line that goes like this. And then there's this plant, and then there's a bunch of clothes. All right, so I think that's got this thing pretty well finished. A little darker at the top on some of these. All right. We did have some sort of a thing that comes up here out of the I don't know if that's going to be, I'm going to leave that out until I may have to make that darker, so I don't want to put any of these electrical wires or whatever they are over that. Anybody got any questions, just shout them out over the chat window there, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. What else we got? We got another, down here we got this little arch that's needs some shadow. Got some more shadow in this area because this is kind of back in the doorway, if you will. There's a couple of windows or things that go in here and things in between there. Okay. Close, close, plant. Close, close. Okay. Just putting in some detailing now on some of this stuff to kind of amp it up a little bit so that it has a little more oomph. All right. There are some old flowers and flower boxes and stuff sitting around. I may come back and, if I don't forget, I'll come back and. It's a little after 2 right now. My clock shows we've been running for 53 minutes. So if you're willing to keep on and don't need a coffee break yet, I will keep going for another few minutes and see if we can get a little more of this done here. Up here, this is an area where there's another tree sitting in here, like a flower box of some kind, and a tree on the other side of it. I guess they like to plant trees in the in these little garden areas at the top of their roofs. Let's see. That. Make a little bit of a shadow come down here. Okay. Some kind of a start of my tree over there. Come back and get me a round brush and some color that looks like it might make a tree. Tree branches, tree bushes, or tree leaves, I want to say. Right in here, see if this is going to be dark enough. Let's put some yellow in there. Let's brighten that thing up. It's too dark. Put some lemon yellow in there. Put it out here so it can show up over this dark background. There we go. Something like that, and then come back and put this darker underneath it. Get some darker here, come on. Some areas will spot in some darker things and give it some dimension. Maybe hard for you to see, but when you watch the video, you'll be able to see there's more stuff going on. We've got some interesting little bushing things here that kind of are growing, and throw a few of those in this area. More yellow. this, like that. And while we're doing it, let's just throw some red or magenta flowers in there. Get my pure paint right out of the palette and just kind of, when I stick them on top of this green though, you know what's going to happen. They're going to turn gray, right? If I don't have enough paint on my brush to make them stand out, they're going to turn gray. So I'm going to find the white areas and see if I can hit a few of those there like this. Alright, maybe a little hard to see also, but that's good enough. Alright, I've got this tree that's showing up a little lighter than the background behind it. I've got these little red things here that are look like be flowers sitting in a pot or something here at the top of this roof line. And I'm giving it some shadow and some color tone in here to warm it up a little bit over here. Okay, let's pull this down. Top of the car. Okay, I'll let that set for a little bit and go back and work on these areas. All right, I count myself at about 2 hours or 1 hour gone by. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a 10-minute break, go get me some water. You can get some coffee. I'll put a sign on here that says we're taking a 10-minute break. And see here, like this is what I want. All right, taking a 10-minute break. I'll be back shortly. Get yourself some coffee, chat on the window if you want. Okay, I'm back. Had a little bit of a break. I hope you had a little break too. I think we're ready to finish this up. I've been looking at it while I've had the break and just trying to see where we can make some improvements. I think it's pretty well set here. I noticed this, there's another little doorway back here that I've missed putting in. So find my flat brush here and see if I can get a little bit of some color here for this. It's I don't know what kind of door it is. It doesn't really matter. Let's see here. We'll put it in. It's kind of like, it's kind of an angle. How's it going here? It's all the way up here. Yeah, that's too big a brush. I don't have a smaller one. I'm going to use a round one. And I'll get some colors here that let me put in something like this right here. Something like that. I'm going to get this smaller brush, wherever it went. There it is. Number 4. Something going on there. I'm not sure exactly what that is supposed to be here, but that, like this. All right, down here, as you come down this, it's a bit of a dark, this is a change plane accent to make you realize this is darker back here. And we'll gradiate it. Good. This is going to be lighter. This is going to be a little bit of darker, but it's going to have some flowers and stuff over it, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, let's go in here, get back and see if we can start some more of our arches here. We've got a couple arches right here. So let's get a nice point on the brush. Come in here and just put in same idea here. Let's put in there's there's a little door that goes right here. There's actually a awning type of thing that comes out here, and there's a little separator between these buildings. Has a similar type of thing going on, and I want to darken this down a little bit with a bit of a shadow, and back over here we've got some more windows that have just giving a little bit of architecture to it, take a come on, give me some blue here. To get myself some clean palette space, maybe it would help. If you want a pure color, you got to get some clear palette space. I'm trying to get a little bluish color that I can lay over in here. That's going to give me a little bit of a that. Same idea over here, just put in a few marks and let them either be hard or soft, but don't spend too much time on them. Down here we're going to have a little bit of a darker window of some sort in here, and throwing in some texture colors here to I don't know what this all is back here, but I'm just going to fill it in very lightly and let it go. Something like this. Over here we've got another set of windows of some sort that goes on here. Again, this is not very important over here, just put in a few defining lines and let it go with that. I'm going to put I'll show something looked like there's dirt coming up from the bottom there. Okay. Down here we've got the bottom of this, got some junk on it, just sort of these are light spots again. All right. I can go with that for a while. Over here. Yeah, come on. All right. In this area we've got some they're shutters of some kind. They look like they're gray. I'm going to see if I can change the color a little bit. This is a grayish color, that grayish green color that I've got here. And they have some sort of a flare on them that they have a little peak down here that looks like that. Another one over here that kind of comes down here like this. Don't need to put all these in necessarily, but I want to make it so you can see there's a this sort of a funny looking door. I guess it's not really a door, it's a window of some sort that sort of is over a that's good enough for now. Let's see, I'll just put a little bit of a tone in there. It's good, the door is actually here. We got this big green door right here. We have a little bit of a arch over this door, like that, not too dry. And take some dark what's behind the green door. All right. Now we're getting into the final areas of this. We're going to put in a few more things that look like they're some sort of a banister or something going in here. Rocks along here. There's a lot of debris and stuff along here on the ground. Shadow under these things. All right, that's probably more detail than we need. But let's leave it at that for now. As you do this one, you can do a better job by pulling some of these side of the brush, just a little bit of wet paint, and darken it in. Okay, so here, that's that. Now we've got a bunch of these. Oh, let's see. Do I want to do maybe it's time to do my laundry. Let's do the laundry. I'm going to get some blues, off-whites, put in some that looks like laundry, but maybe it's put in some other colors here that maybe I've never painted laundry before, so I don't know what it's supposed to look like. So let's just leave some lights and darks in here. We got some more shirts and things hanging out here. Put some gray color in there, gray it down a little bit. And come back with some blue, mix it in. And what do we have to have above the laundry? You got to have a clothesline, and that's kind of what this is right here. Goes all the way up here like this, over like that. They've got little pins on top, some kind of pin to hold stuff up. Alright, so much for that. Let's leave that alone for now and see if I can fill in. This is going to be some more greenery over here. I don't know, I guess I should have practiced painting on laundry before I did this. These things look a little more real if I put some more shadows in there. I don't know. It look like laundry? I don't know. All right, let's gotta put some of these flowers in. I'm gonna get myself some reds. This quinacridone scarlet's a good color. Some oranges over here. Maybe some yellow, lemon yellow over here. And get this green, get some kind of green going here with this yellow. And make sure I've got enough light in there. And this area here, we're just gonna pop it in there. Let me see if I can dry this out a little bit. Got too much water in there. Like that. Come back and pick up a few of my reds, maybe. Stick a few red splotches in here, like this. Get some orange. Go in some orange little jobs, maybe some yellow. There we go. Let's get some pretty colors in there, like this. Okay, that looks like a lot of color. Okay, so much for that. Come down here and we've got a whole bunch of green rose bush. Looks like rose bushes there, and this whole area is here filled with it. So I'm going to see if I can use my small brush, and I'm going to pop in some of these, whole bunch of things look like roses in here, hopefully. A lot of them. Put those in. I'm going to let that dry for a while. I'm going to come back and put in some green over that and hopefully fill that all out. That. Over here we've got some more greenery coming in over here. Let's see if we can put a little bit more of that in. Top of this something like that. Might have some yellow tops on those. Let's put some green. Helps. The yellow makes it look a lot more like grass or something growing up there. This area, this is all a bunch of rocks, and there's a dividing line here, this, and then it goes up. There's an angle, so everything that's over here is like darker, everything that's over here is lighter. So we'll help try to make that distinction. If I can. Okay, let's go work on some rocks. Get my flat brush here. Yep, flat brush, there we go. All right, let's get in here and see if we can make some rocks. These things got all kind of interesting colors. There's oranges and there's browns and reds and all that sort of stuff in here. So let's put a few orange and brown colors here. Starts here, comes down. Let's see, a couple of layers. It looks like this is sort of they're stacked on top of each other. So we've got these little orange segments that sort of separate them, and then we got a little bit of everything going on in here. That. A lot of them are sort of grayish. With a little bit of mortar in between them. And these, as they go back, they actually go up a little bit. And that, come back, put some more orange under here. I don't know if I'm getting the perspective right on that thing or not. It's got to be darker. We got to have this edge has to be much darker than the front edge. We're not going to make it look like it's going back. So I'm going to put that in, then come back and put some rocks over it. Browns. We still got these one over here, they're lighter. So if I do it right, this section here on the right is going to look like it's more out of the light, and it's certainly and round brush and see if I can do some good with it. Just add some other colors in here to brighten it up a little bit, and then the front's going to be lighter all the way across here, all the way down, light. sort of a thing going on here in this area. Come on. Some color change. Take these and we're going to put in a few more things here. We got some browns and stuff that goes across here. That's not very brown. Let's put in a few more dabs of color. So I'm trying to make that wall, it's coming back toward us, so I don't want to put too much of an angle on it. But it does have these things that sort of go this way, and there's those brush strokes tell you what's going on here, hopefully. All right, this whole wall here is just all grayed out with a lot of water. And this, we got a little bit of a thing going like this. And there's another sort of a that. And then this is just a little bit darker, a little bit darker. Okay. So we're getting that. I'm going to come back now and put some of these greens in back here now that I've got this dried off over here. I left that set long enough to get it dry. I'm going to come in here and start popping in some nice greens, hopefully. Get my yellow and my green and some water and some blue. Big brush. We're just going to kind of stab in these things. In and around the reds. Down here we got more going on down here. Something like that. Don't want to leave too much white in there. Something like that. Don't want to make it look like a Christmas tree. It's more coming out like that. All right, let's see if I can pop a few more reds on top of that and just see what happens here. That's a little, gotta take it almost right out of the tube. Fill in some whites and a few more shadows, a few little darker colors in there to show some things in the shade. Okay, so now we've got the walk coming down here. Got this thing that needs some kind of attention in here. There's some boards or something across here that just sort of lock this thing up. And it's got some shadow. Oh, there's some more stones and stuff in here that are sort of filling this out in this area. And there's like that. Put a few more colors in here. Let's get some of this. I don't know what that is. It looks like it's something that's just sort of been closed up. Used to have something going on there. I don't know what. All right, let's see if we can start closing this thing off. We've got just a car, a little bit more to do. How long have we been going? An hour and 40 minutes, which includes a 10-minute break. So all right. Give myself some I think I want a bigger brush for that. Get some gray, put a little bit of pink in it, make it a little more violet maybe. It's too violet. Not too bad there. Myself some dark here. I gotta do this up here again while it's still dry, or while it's dry. Let's finish this off down here with some shadow. That. Up here we're gonna come down and put in some more darker. Have to make that look more distinct, and we're doing that by putting in a heavier coat and using our bristle brush with some water in it. Not much, because I got a lot of water right there. Just going to blend this edge so that it doesn't form a hard edge. And put a few more down here, color this in a little bit more. Okay, we got some stuff here that looks halfway decent. The car, let's see what we can do with this car. I've got the back of it, just needs some sort of gray colors inside, I think, and sort of make this like this, darken it off, put a little more kind of bright red tail light here that's sort of grayed down a little bit, but tail light. We've got a really bright seat on this motorcycle right here. Like that. And then there's a piece of, and then we got a little darker shadow under it. that. And then the seat is very dark, just like the tires. This tire is going to have a pretty dark like this. Tire, this is sort of the side of this seat is sort of dark as well. Okay, and then this is clear, and then we got a bunch of leaves here. Let's see if I can do this without getting my hand in. Had to get my hand in it, didn't I? Messed it all up down there. However, I haven't done my splatter technique yet, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to cover some of this car up so I don't splatter the car. But I want to do this. Like those things with the, I don't know if that's much better, but I like it better. Okay, we got a few more, some of these. Okay, I'm getting about there, folks. Something like this here, and a few more dirty things coming up from the road like that. Just add some more of the perspective. I'm just going to put in a few probably could put in a few of the places between the boards there. And let's see here. Get my flat brush, green. Here we go. And here we're gonna take some yellow, a lot of paint in the brush, and we're just gonna come here and pop, bam. So this is all stuff that covers up this motorcycle. And we're going to have to put some color in it, some tone, something to make it look more three-dimensional. So we do that by stabbing some more stuff in here like this. And down here at the bottom where it touches the ground, it should be darker. Like that. All right, a few more calligraphy marks here and there. Let's see if we can finish this off. Make sure this has got some shadow in it because this part should be a little darker, blend it in. One thing about shadows, if you can run them into the ground, into the object they're making a shadow of, it really helps. Here we should have some sort of tire that's under there that I don't have showing, and it should just sort of merge with the shadow. Okay, I think I'm gonna just about call this quits here. I want to put a few maybe streaks that make it look like the road goes this way. I don't know if that helps or not. It doesn't go that way. It actually curves more like that. Yeah. All right, just a few of those things. A few more splatters here if I can get a few. And a few of these verticals in here. Darker. Okay, I think I'm going to quit, folks. Glad you stuck with me today, and hope you give this a try. I don't have all the sketches and stuff out on my website yet. I'm going to see how this was going to work, but I think it came about pretty well. 3 o'clock, yeah, we're okay. I might have a couple other places I could put a few darks. I don't know. There's this area up here and this light should be a little darker probably. Put another little layer of glaze on this. Okay. A few more distinguishing marks here. I'm leaving out the wiring and all that stuff that goes up the wall here. Not too crazy about that. Maybe I'll put a couple of things across that kind of look like it might be something there, but I'm not going to define that too well. Alright, I think maybe this area here is just a little bit too light. I'm going to pop in a couple of shadows in here. Like that. This needs to be a little bit, all right. I said I was going to stop, but I didn't stop. All right, let's put my name on it, and that'll force me to stop, maybe. Over here we'll go. Okay, and a few more things in here to sort of give this some more texture and life. It looked like one big green thing. Blot it just a little bit so it's not all the same color. All right, I think I'm going to stop on that and say that's a very long painting, and it's taken me a good 2 hours to do it. Hope you like it. Hope you give it a try. I'm going to put all the images out on my website later today, and I'll have this video edited and back out on YouTube probably in a couple days. It's going to be a pretty good editing job. So anyway, if you are interested in taking some Zoom classes, please send me your email, and I will be glad to put you on my list. I'm setting up a few Zoom classes. If you're interested in getting free paintings from a place called pmp-art.com, you can get them like I got these. And if you like this, share it and with your friends, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and check out Antonio Romeo's music on antonioromo.com. Played his music before we started and during our break, and I think that's all. Check out my website and Facebook page, and I'll have this on YouTube probably in 2 or 3 days. So thanks for joining me today. It's been a long day, and hope you appreciate it, and give this a try. So until I see you again, this is Larry Hamilton saying so long for now. Bye-bye. Oops, I want to do this.